In a major setback for President Donald Trump's trade strategy, the U.S. Court of International Trade in New York has blocked his latest plan to slap tariffs on nearly all foreign imports. On Wednesday, a three-judge panel ruled that Trump overstepped his legal authority. He had used emergency powers under the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA. The White House claimed a national emergency, citing trade deficits, drug trafficking, and illegal immigration, but the court said that doesn't hold up. Trump had launched a two-tiered tariff system, a 10% baseline tariff on nearly all foreign goods and a 50% reciprocal tariff targeting countries the US runs trade deficits with. While the 50% rate was paused for 90 days for negotiations, the 10% base tariff remained in effect until now. The judges rejected Trump's argument that trade deficits and border issues were national emergencies. They said these problems have persisted for decades and don't justify sweeping economic powers under IEEPA. The ruling said, and I quote, "The law does not support such far reaching and broad economic interventions," end quote, and Trump's measures were not adequately linked to the threats cited. The lawsuit had been filed by five small US businesses and a coalition of 12 states. This ruling only blocks the April 2nd measures. Earlier tariffs on steel, aluminum, and automobiles still stand. That's because they were enacted under a different law, the 1962 Trade Expansion Act, which requires a national security review by the Commerce Department. The ruling sparked a relief rally across global markets. Investors welcomed the easing of trade tensions. The US dollar surged, especially against the yen and Swiss franc. The dollar index jumped back above 100, its highest in a week. Asian and European equities climbed fast. Japan's Nikkei rose 1.7%. South Korea's benchmark surged 1.8%, hitting a 9-month high. China's blue chips gained 0.6%. MSCI Asia Pacific, excluding Japan, went up 0.5%. Europe followed. Euro stocks 50 gained 1.3%. FTSE added 0.8%, and Germany's DAX climbed 1.1%. In the US, S&P 500 futures rose 1.6% and Nasdaq futures shot up 2%, helped by strong earnings from tech giants like Nvidia. Indian markets also cheered. The Sensex jumped 476 points to 81,791 early on. The Nifty 50 climbed 118 points to 24,871. Gains later moderated. Sensex held plus 221 at 81,534. Nifty 50 stood plus 55 at 24,808. This ruling complicates Trump's core economic pitch, which leans heavily on aggressive tariffs and executive action. It may also affect trade talks with other nations. Some governments may now pause or recalibrate negotiations, waiting to see how courts rule in the long run. Meanwhile, the US Federal Reserve is keeping a close watch. Minutes from its May 6 to 7 meeting show concern over rising inflation and unemployment. That could influence whether the Fed moves to tighten or ease policy. With GDP and core PCE data due soon, markets are bracing for the Fed's next move. Trump's tariff plan may not be dead, but it's definitely been delayed. And for now, global markets are breathing easier. The trade war may not be over, but it's on pause. Stay tuned. The next legal round could change the game all over again.